Hello there, everyone. How's it going? Hey there, Lunar Downs Twitch. Thank you for the follow. How's it going? What's up, guys? How's it going today? I am, for whatever reason, absolutely beat. So it's probably gonna be a tad shorter stream today. Don't know why, I've been having some trouble sleeping lately, so we'll see how far it goes. So in addition to that, let's just do some base coding today. Nothing too taxing. Hey Nucky, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, same here. Feeling fairly tired for whatever reason, just can't put a finger on it, so don't know how long I'll be able to keep it up to date, but we'll see when we see it. I did start on Gallivant, as you requested, as you suggested, and yeah, it's kind of fresh. I liked it. Went through the first season last night, and I'm probably gonna do the same with the second today. The episode with Weird Al was surprising. I didn't expect to see him there. Pretty fun. Yeah, absolutely. But it still has some good hits here and there, so yeah, it's pretty nice. Kind of reminded me there is a very similar one, minus the musicals, the musical parts, with Bruce Campbell, where they are spies infiltrating Napoleon. Kind of has a very similar vibe to it, I think. I think it was something Patriot. I'll check it out in just a moment. Make sure I'm not give the exact title if you're looking for something. Oh, Burn Notice. Not the one I'm thinking about, but yeah, that was a solid one. Never watched all of it though. Like, stopped watching it somewhere around season 3, I think. But it was still ongoing when I was watching it, so maybe that waiting for the next episode just got too much for me. And it did get a little bit on the muddy side after a certain point. But yeah, definitely, I loved that show. Yeah, it's very fun. Like the first couple of seasons are a joy. It is, however, a long format, So it's the 45 minutes episode type. So do keep that in mind if you're gonna watch it. But yeah, he's good. Like I said today, probably just gonna do some base coating. So I'm not really in the mood for anything particularly delicate and detaily. Jack of all trades, yeah, that's the one. Don't know why Patriot was in my mind. Did you get a start on the Doom Lords, or haven't had the time or inspiration to do so? Oh, sweet. All the way back. Yeah, I'm a bit of a retro freak sometimes. Ooh, that sounds good. Already red and a gold. Yeah. Pretty classic combo. Should come out pretty well. As usual, if any point in time during the process or afterwards feel like giving us a sneak peek into how's it coming along, feel free and encouraged to do so. Maybe stick to the classics, yeah. Still though. Even if you did obtain it in a slightly shady manner, you shouldn't limit yourself. But red is a very fun color to build up, and so are golds. Are you using the Citadel range or something else? Lemon. I actually think I saw something in along those lines somewhere on the internet a while back. Good thing about the Chaos team and particularly the Warriors is also that they have quite a few like flat, large surfaces, so you can have the opportunity to really play around to bring the color to life, so you have a little bit of space to do your blending and um, like more color transitions, so make one color look more interesting within itself. Just kind of nice and kind of unusual for GW to not over ornament and over ornate their stuff. Just cool and refreshing. Scale 75, gotcha. Scale 75 was the range I was very much looking into uh, to want to transition to from the Citadel stuff. But then I got access to Proquill and I jumped at them. They're supposed to be fairly similar, just maybe a tiny bit easier to work with. But the metallics are, yeah, the scale ones are legendary. But now I think that there will be once again a little bit of a problem with getting a hold of Monument Hobby stuff, since, well, Brexit essentially. Because their European distribution was from Element Games. Yeah, so at first in Europe you could get them via what was it, Creature Casters distribution chain, but then they split, became their own thing, and needed to build a distribution chain of their own. So they chose Element Games, which was okay, but Element Games is in the UK, so now after Brexit we're gonna have to wait to see which European brand they'll decide to stick to. So it's been a journey. Hey Hubert, what's up? Now I'm also running with running into similar issues for vape gear. So I have to find a workaround for that one as well. So little annoyances all around. Nothing special, but just little things that pile up, you know. And then you just find yourself feeling particularly shitty. You can't really place a finger on it, and it's just the slowly accumulated situation from tiny little things. Today I'm on yellow, gold wave. And finished with most of the skin colors of the team. Nice! Yeah, if you can take a couple picks, that'd be lovely. Did you do a second run on the gold for the chainsaw? It's the little things. Oh, sure, like little by little. Also an Alice Cooper song. Little by little, we cross the line. It's alright, man. Whenever you feel it. Nothing changed. Okay. I did finally manage to find Eddie Izzard's stand up in full, and it was not on YouTube. YouTube had some cutouts, some clips of it, but not the full show. And yeah, that was a good one. Thanks for the recommendation. And surprisingly enough, for something from '99, even some of the topical stuff was on point, even for today. So it had a little bit of a weird effect to it. But I enjoyed it. Dude has some energy about him. So even the less funny skits just carry over his enthusiasm. So definitely had a good time. I'm gonna look for some of his other stuff. felt like getting out the big brush today for the base coats, a big synthetic one. And just make some quick comparisons. Because I've been base coating with a softer brush. But this one is just too big, and for whatever reason, it forms a marvelous tip. Very pointy, like you can see. What we're dealing with, that's a size 6 brush, so it's very easy to switch to use for both large flat surfaces and like smaller nooks and crannies. I put my mind to it, I can probably actually use it for quite a bit down the line of the process. Like initial highlights, and again, just look at this tip. I don't know how long it'll stay that like that, being a synthetic, but still. Naturally, with a brush this size, you will never run into paint drying on it unless you completely forget to rinse it and re-moisten it. So it's alright. It is a little bit stained though, I should probably give it a wash. Some soap. Yesterday I did finish up the last few dudes' leathery bits. So that step is now complete. It's not much, but it's progress. Might get to start on the ogre today as well. He's pretty much the last thing that doesn't have any color on it from the project. So I think it's high time for him to get some love as well. Some colory goodness. Apart from that, really, nothing interesting to report, which I am personally quite fine with. Keeping things a little bit on the down low. No news is sometimes good news, so. It ain't that I'm complaining about it, it's just really not that much to talk about on streams while on air. Hubert, myself, and another one of our group are considering trying a tabletop stream. I'm gonna try and stream a whole game of Blood Bowl on tabletop with some emphasis on covering the rules and explaining the majority of things that we run into that may cause difficulties. Yeah, it's gonna be weird because we've never done anything like that before. Emphasis on blood. Hey, Zamka, what's up? And my setup is really just for one dude sitting down and battling. Yo, Foodie! Hello! Welcome for the follow. Thank you for the follow. How is it going? Middle of the week. Hey. Nothing much, just painting some base colors on these Blood Bowl Deuterinos. Trying to get them done for the eventual start of the new season of our league. Hey, Snick! Sup, man? What have you been up to? All good. Great to hear. Torchy! Hello. Yeah, I guess. Still better than what it could have been. Like, taking a solid sip out of your paint water and then realizing that it's not the coffee. Whoa, Naki! Thanks so much for the sub. You didn't have to, but still, very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right, so yeah, either this weekend or one of the coming weekends, we're gonna give it a try and stream this Blood Bowl game. Fair warning, it is going to be a mess. So it might be fun to watch. Might be fun to watch us struggle. I'm from Bulgaria. Small country north of Greece. where Snixon is from, and just south of Romania. Oh, by the way, while Snake is here, I always forget to do that. Sub Dr. Tentacle, welcome aboard. Dear God. Throw out a few shoutouts for the streamers in our ranks. One for Snixon and one for Dr. Tentacle. Yo, where'd you go? Oh, sweet. Do you already have a channel for people to follow? Let's throw that out as well. Why doesn't it work for Dr. Tentacle, though? That's odd. Possibly. It just died. Let me see. When you buy your hobby stuff in miniatures, is the packaging in Bulgarian? Nope, we have no localization whatsoever. Not for, I mean, for minis, it may not be that much of a deal. Where did the chat go? What's going on around here? Yeah, like you said. I think most have it at a at the very least workable level. I don't know. I've just been consuming a hell of a lot of media, and my day job is kind of tied into the language as well, so it's mainly just practice. But thank you though, much appreciated. Okay, let's try that whole thing again. Oh, not at all. Actually, I love being asked stuff. Otherwise, I have to suck topics off my fingertips, and that's neither a pleasant sight nor usually a much of a good idea anyway. Yeah, okay, so shoutouts are dead for whatever. Давай, давай. Yeah. So I'll have to see later on why the tech hated me so. You enjoy it. What, me sucking topics out of thin air? Anyway, another call to arms. What are you all up to? Hobby-wise or otherwise? Anything that you would like to share? Just me sucking. Why, thank you. I think as long as they aren't too thick. Well, sadly, in this region, uh, it's a bit of a rough overall melodic of all of the languages around the Balkans. So it's usually kind of rough. Hungary and Bulgaria, that is actually extremely flattering if you confuse us with Hungary. Yeah, flags are kind of close. Let's see if the Discord command works. Hey, that shit works. So why doesn't the shoutout stuff trigger? Oh, okay. So it's alive. Just me being a dipshit. Right, so that would be our small Discord. It's pretty much empty, but if you like, you can use it as a dumping ground for any works in progress or any pics, any memes, anything you'd like to share. Within reason, of course. It's kind of sad when you have to add within reason as if it's not a self-evident case. Right, so let's see how much brown this Deuterino will have on his person. I get the urge to do so. Fair enough. Yeah, it's kind of become one of those things. Like a prefix to sentences that it just rolls off the tongue. It's just part of. Yeah, sure, but it's still accidents do happen. Like you can accidentally copy paste something that you didn't mean to. So you are feeling less conscious to less guilty for kicking someone if you have given fair warning. But that being said, I really don't think that will be a case here. It's just sentence padding. It all ties into the very long, very hard to discuss topic about common sense becoming a superpower instead of being, common. But that is a huge topic and fairly controversial one, so I'm not truly feeling prepared to delve into the depths of that one. Certainly not while I'm doing something else and distracting myself with other activities. Which already, yeah, that's the point of it. Like, trying to substitute common sense with black and white checklists, like binary checklists, and just. You'll never get an exhaustive list, and at the end of the day, you're feeling more like a robot than a human person. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Just throwing it out there that it does tie into this bigger thing. And that in itself ties into other stuff that I'm not even gonna mention. By the way, Torch, I forgot to ask, where are you from? Who said it? But I know there's a saying, if you want somebody to hate you, you don't have to start a war. You only need to speak your mind. Yep, that is something I will not deny. Although, again, nowadays, it's a 50-50 chance that, so if you get heard, someone will hate you, but there is also a 50% chance that just everyone will ignore what you're saying because they're busy admiring themselves. Stagnant paint water. I keep forgetting to throw mine out. Just put it to the side, and when the time to paint or stream comes along and I realize this, I really can't be bothered to go and do it. Spend those extra 2 minutes, change the water. Do what you gonna do. There are theories about keeping the same pot of water throughout the entirety of your painting project, as it gives, after using all of the colors that you are gonna use for the project, the paint water sort of becomes a neutral color and has a almost invisible tint that it adds to any color that you put, so it helps everything blend in and look harmonious. I think that's more bullshit than truth, but you know, it it's more of an argument in favor of being lazy, so who am I to complain? Would be better place if we killed 10%. Yeah. Yeah. Let's not let our misanthropic thoughts take over. It's alright. If it's not, it's probably gonna be. Hmm. So it is a link-friendly chat, so if you don't want to post stuff on the Discord, you can always pop a link from Insta or Facebook or whatever for us to check out. Memes included. Who doesn't love a good meme? What's that then? Curator socks. Medusa. Oh, what's this? Let's take a look. It's in the link. Oh hell yeah! Shit. Caravaggio socks. Sweet. I never thought of that. And you actually get a little bit of a blurb underneath. Caravaggio is known for his unique fascination with violence and realism. And by the time he started achieving success as an artist, he was even encountering some run-ins with the law. Oh wow, there's a lot of stuff here. So you get to learn art history and get some socks in the process? I mean, it's cool, it's just not the most intuitive concept. You get Francisco Goya, Jacques-Louis David, Hokusai, Michelangelo. Neat. Yeah, like $12 for a pair of socks. Any Francis Bacon? Let's check. Doesn't seem. It's probably more masterpieces. Oh, there are more. Sandro Botticelli. Yeah, no. Sorry. No Francis Bacon. Still though. Pretty cool. Imagine using these socks as an icebreaker at a party. Just stomping on the table, showing them off, and well, back in my day, when people used to be able to get out of their homes, we had these social gatherings where sometimes fun shit would happen, and I like to call them parties. Still, though, you're not putting your feet in their face, you're putting art and knowledge in their face. Hmm. Are they? I don't know, I haven't really noticed. I think it's more shirts around here. Then again, we don't really have our own corporate culture. We have some outsourcing that's been that has found its way here. So I wouldn't really know. But I'll take your word for it. Socks have been trending in the past couple of years because man's pants are in style. Being shorter at the ankle. Ah, yeah, that's true. Makes sense. Expression through footwear. Well, yeah. Can you consider socks as foot underwear? Technically, footwear would be shoes. Yeah, just associating them with foot underwear seems kind of weird. And now that it's, as mentioned, more revealed due to the current style of pants, first thing that comes to mind was the early 2000s, where if you were a girl, you wore thongs. They just had to be super high up. Remember that? The neon colored thongs. Pulled all the way over your hips. Super loose. Oh, yeah, yeah. I try to forget. No, the past will always haunt you. Yeah, it's kind of a world of dichotomies where one extreme is pretty much immediately followed with the diametric opposite of it. And this guy is going to fall off his base. I can feel it. That's alright. Nothing good old super glue can fix. And I am still thinking about placing him on a 32 mil base. So if he were to fall from this one, it would actually make my decision a hell of a lot easier. Because he looks a bit funky on a 32. And just because his legs are so far apart, his feet. Wrinkles at the feet. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that was part of the concept, because when you sit down, they raise up a little bit. It looks undersized for only for him, it would appear. So if the model would have feet that are wide apart, it does look weird. But for instance, both the GW Ogre and the Ice Troll for the Norse I have, they're standing on one foot, and so when you smack them on a 32, they don't look out of place. You might need to weigh the base down with a nickel or something on the bottom, but it doesn't look out of place. Where here, um, it's like his heels are the uh, on the rims of the base. And this, so I think this is a 40, probably a 40, and it's too big for the squares on the pitch, so it obstructs gameplay. So you gotta make a choice. You gotta make a judgment call. Do you want it to look better or be more usable in the game, like easier to use in a game? Because in Blood Bowl, the base size doesn't matter. It's just a matter of convenience. You can remove a leg, yeah, but let's leave that as a extreme solution. Alrighty, have a good one, and yep, see you when I see you. And as usual, thank you so much for joining along and for the sub as well. Not an expert on base sizes, but I bought some Malifaux miniatures recently. Amazing quality, but they designed them in a way that you almost have to make raised or terrain bases. Some of them have poses that are a bit too wide. Yeah, I've seen that. I've noticed that. Sometimes the sculptors and the designers decide to push their creativity, because remember, the first big quality improvement of miniatures was dynamicism of the poses. And so pretty much everyone and their grandma decided to make the weirdest and craziest poses they could fit on a model. And that came at the cost of practicality, especially if the models were intended to use to play. And Malifaux is a prime example of that. Also, while their quality is truly great, they are so so finely detailed. Most of the models are so small and delicate. And that's part of the reason what actually drove me off of them as one of my first games. Just because I was actually daunted to put them together, not to mention paint them. Someone gave me the 3 Ronin chicks, the ninja chicks, as a gift a long time ago, and they're still in the box. I just can't bring myself to try and put them together. Because the connecting pieces are literally smaller than a drop of super glue. Like, how the hell are you supposed to put that together? Yeah, that too. But on the other hand, if you really want to go into making your stuff more scenic, more display-y, um, that helps it along. Because we've all seen those beautiful display bases and then just a regular Space Marine planted on it. Where unless the base is absolutely flat, you can never get um, both feet on the terrain. Yo, Saima, what's up? Team progression is going slowly. We got 8 that are ready for basing. 6 that I have to put some highlights on yellows, greens, and metallics. Another 4 that are in the base coating stage, and then the ogre that I just started. So a little bit from everywhere. That's sweet. Yeah, it's a cool model, and it's also cool that they gave you alternatives. Like I think this was Ogre 3 question mark from the Grebo stuff, and they also had a few more. Yeah, that's number 3. Okay, just cool. Yeah, the other ones would fit better in a ogre's team, I think. As a matter of fact, I think one of our group has a ogre team that he made with these models. But then again, there are like four versions, so you'll have to have a couple duplicates. Pinning a Malifaux Mini with what? A surgical laser? Oh man. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I mean. So it's super fiddly. And it's a shame because they have some really nice looking stuff. You can't tell. Yeah, probably. So Grebo are moving into a new material, have their models in. And I think it's something that resembles very much what you would use for 3D printing, 3D printed resin. The reason I'm bringing this up is because, as you can see, this dude and pretty much all of their stuff is made in a way that it can be cast in either 1 or 2 piece models, and as a result, the posability from a design perspective is kind of limited. And I think their new stuff is gonna allow to keep both a dynamic pose and also keep it a 1 piece, so you can just pop it out and on the table straight away. Oh, sweet. Do you have anything picture-wise? For those not in the know, Saima is doing the same team with a different color scheme with purple and black, and they look friggin' awesome. Okay, let's check. Tabletop of Rebel. Alright. Let's take a look. Main Rebel. Where the hell are you? Okay, and tabletop. Derp. Purple ladder. G purple. Where the hell is that? G-Man, REL. It's like a theme in the main Discord, right? I'm sure I saw it somewhere. Roles, scheduling, recaps. Where did it go? Oh, okay. Sorry then. I guess I didn't. But I do remember you had ones in the Bretonian propaganda. Just to show the others. If I can dig them out. Oh, there they are. Yeah, so here they are. Let me try and make them bigger. There you go. Yep. So this is his take on the same team. I'm really digging the purple. I'm always gonna remember to bring it up. It just looks so good. So they're pretty fine. Mighty fine. Oh, there's more stuff. Oh, there's the knight. Okay. Here he is. I dig the separation line. Like the yellow vertical. I'm still debating if I should steal that from you, but and they're a really good combination. So golds, yellows with purple is always a good idea. Black looks very well with golds and yellows as well. So it's a very, very solid, very classy color scheme. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. The colors that you used are a little bit on the dark side, so it needs a little bit of extra splash to bring it up. Like, what I'm debating is whether or not I should steal it and apply it to my own stuff. It's not whether or not it looks well in yours, 'cause it does. Are you planning on having a tabletop league around you, or is it too early to tell? Yeah, cool. But I mean, within the current circumstances. Yeah, that's the point. Sweet. I'm gonna try and make some recruitment videos. Uh, Hubert, myself, and another one of the local Blood Bowl community are gonna try and do a live stream of a tabletop game soon-ish. Um, and see just how awful it can actually come out. I've also printed out some flyers to take around local hobby shops that we are looking for peeps to join. Or at least whether or not anyone would actually have interest, show any interest to Blood Bowl. Because it's not the easiest to get people into. For miniatures and board game hybrid, it's pretty demanding. So I really need to work on a good pitch. As in a good narration to get people into it, not the field to play on. But anyway, if that works, we can do similar stuff for Necromunda and Mordheim and a plethora of other stuff that I've been hoarding models for a while. Thankfully, the game will take place less than an arm's length away from this desk, so transferring most of the tech should be sufficiently easy to do on a regular basis, but still, there will be a lot of kinks to iron out. But it's gonna be fun. That is for sure. You're wondering why it looks like I'm mostly faffing about with this is because I felt kind of beat even before I started the stream, so I'm mostly just messing around trying to make tiny, small, incremental progress steps. So I'm actually really, really happy that all of you came along so we can have a more chatty type stream. Unlike the ones where I just shut up and paint tiny little scratches across multiple surfaces. Plenty of painted armor. So I would like to get as much and as many of the colors from the other guys on him. So the way the front armor is segmented in sort of squared out, it's gonna be a zigzag pattern. So let's say green, green, yellow, yellow. The top here, I'm gonna emulate the colors of the coal, so this will be red. And the back is also pretty well segmented, so we can go for another green, yellow, and red here at the top. So I'm gonna make use of the details on the actual model to separate the color areas. Because otherwise it really needs to be sort of a lumbering hunk of different shades of metallics, and I'm really not very much into that. In purple. Like for your stuff? I would think a yellow or because you can do the same, so you can take the black and the purple and use these lines here as separators that you can actually paint in the yellows. Might be fun. I try to avoid metallics as much as possible, simply because they take so much of the attention unless you mute them down to shit. I'm gonna try and use more of the actual colors of the model. Yeah, if you leave them as is, if you're using true metal metallics, like I am, it is easy to make them look like old Chinese plastic with the aluminum foil that they used, like. So yeah, if at all possible to use them as an accent here and there, just really not a whole model painted in them. Maybe if it's a whole model, you can make it work somehow. In my experience, it's been fairly difficult. Use metallics. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. When you're using the actual reflective colors. If you go down the route of non-metallic metals, then it's a completely different thing altogether. But I, for one, cannot do them to save my life, so kinda stuck in this situation. But there are ways, of course. I firmly believe that there are ways, such as using some filters, kill the shine of the actual paint, and try and give it a little depth with a gradient, sort of make it painted as you would paint a non-metallic metal, but use reflective metallics, like sparkly metallics. Pearlescence, if you will. I don't think if I do think that metallics count as pearlescence. I don't know. In the world of acrylics, just avoid these terms because they're not. They don't have the same echo as a Abaddon Black. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I just get lost somewhere in the way and never end up making them look any decent. Which is why, and the reason for that is that there is usually too little difference between what I use as a base coat and what I use for highlights. Which is why I actually got into the Monument hobby stuff, because they have some very dark silvers that you can use brilliantly as a base coat to build on. Yeah, inks also help to give the very sharp shadows that you need to emphasize high reflectivity. But it's sure not an easy thing to pull off. Unless it's like a belt buckle or something very, very small, where you can just get away with, not being gray. It's a process. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. It's just a very notable struggle I've been having over the majority of the projects that I've been working on. David Sopper quality. I actually don't know David Sopper. I haven't seen his stuff. Excuse my lack of information on this. Minis with no process. Make me a product I can buy. Oh, they will. I think they're gonna probably start selling painters soon. Like just people to paint your stuff. You can buy one for metallics and buy one for wet blending and who knows what they'll think of. Forge World Turquoise Black. Turquoise and black inks for steel, sepia magenta, and sepia green. Yeah. Yeah, actually, sepia magenta would be really interesting. Sepia green, giving it a more brassy outlook, and the magenta is very like old gold, I guess. And the turquoise adding some what was the word? P started with a P. Patina. Patina. Yeah, I get that. Right, let's take a look. What that? Putting in paint. Ah, okay. Let's see this dude. Okay. Now I get what you mean. She. Is it just me, or has desaturated palette become very trendy? But I definitely dig it. Look at that Gabo face. Bloody marvelous. Where the hell is this model from? Infamy. I have actually a couple of Infamy models, and I can confirm that, well, Infamy model, that they have some really cool steampunk shit. Infamy models. Shipping is shit though. It takes a hell of a while. Ewert says, and here I am putting paint on minis. Well, that's what we all do, you know? Ooh, that's a nice dark Eldar. And he actually allowed himself to go a little bit more saturated on this one. It just pops better. I don't know. It's just may just be me, but if you're gonna put this guy on a base, like on a table to play with, I think going with more saturated and high contrast colors is the way to go. So, with that being said, there is the whole debacle of whether or not high contrast painting obscures lack of ability or complements painting skills too much and all that. Um, my opinion on the matter is paint however you like. But then again, most of the people that make these comments are actually painting for other people, and so, you know, to reach somewhat of a more objective comparison, a more similar plane, make objective comparisons of that. And that is way beyond my area of comfort. But I do like my cartoonier colors. I have some dwarves for Blood Bowl, and I'm still debating whether or not to try the comic book style. the cell shaded style for them, because they are a little bit plain detail wise. So I think it will work well. But I would need to get a basic foundational knowledge, fundamentals on non-metallic stuff to get them done. I do have plenty of stuff to do before that, but still, I think they are the ones that would lend themselves the best to the style. Oh yeah, I have no idea of either Army Painter or the Leho stuff. So unfortunately, I cannot act with any capacity in this discussion. Okay, anything else that needs to be brown? I think that's about it. Yeah, alright. Now what? Yellow. How does that sound? Let's put on some yellows. As opposed to the GW, the Citadel washes, the only similar thing I've really been playing around with is the Transparents from Brockrell. They have a very similar quality, with the main difference being that they have the filter effect without having the viscosity effect, so you won't get the getting into nooks and crannies thing that the washes do. But most importantly, and why I prefer them to the washes, is that they don't give you that dirty effect when they dry out. So you get a little bit more control. And they're very pigmented, so you can use them as anything from a very thick filter to essentially dirty paint water that still leaves a little bit of an impression on the color that you put it over. Yeah, oils too. I had tried oils for washes a very long time ago, but back then I didn't know that you actually have to filter the concoction to get out the hard particles that do remain, that you cannot dissolve in the mineral spirits. And so what I was left with was a substance that was very nice for greasing grime with like little bits inside. So good for weathering, but not so good for actual washing. And that's pretty much when I drew the line. And now it's getting in style with diamonds. That's what I say. I said yellow, right? Yeah, it's just that there is something to it. Like Brush for Hire mentioned this, and it made so much sense about whenever if you're gonna use it as a wash, you need to run the whole thing through. Like you need to filter it. There are some hard particles that will screw up the thing, or maybe I was just using very old oils that took a million years to dissolve properly. But I think there is something into that. Yeah, so I don't know how much it will benefit a rank and file painting project as opposed to being used for a single bust or for a larger single miniature that you would need longer drying times to place your blends where you want them to be. But I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable with glazing till my eyes bleed. Yeah, washes. Yeah, I meant more along the lines of like if you're gonna use the full extent of oils, like a whole project in oils. Although I've seen James Wapple do it, but then again, this man is from another planet, so it doesn't count. Right. So where do we start with? Yeah, no idea. But it has become a thing in miniature painting, so a lot more information is readily available from people who have either tried or to an extent mastered them. So if it's something that you find interesting as a concept to try out and play around with, I think now is a good time to do so. Yeah, for sure, it would be easier on a larger thingy. Thingy, of course, being the technical term for it. Borderline academic. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think that is where their actual strength is, that you sort of put the paint on and then you just play around with it. Sort of like placing decals or decals or however their bloody word is supposed to be pronounced. Where you put it on the wet spot and you just mess around with it till you're content. That's sort of how I imagine oils working. I'm just gonna repeat though that I freaking love this brush. For the size that it is, the tip is scalpel sharp. So you can use the belly to deposit more paint and then use the tip to fiddle around with the amount of paint that you put on. It's nice. And so these last four alignment are exactly the amount of variations in the color patterns. So that was a stroke of good luck. So I just have to go over all of them just one more time. Don't have to figure out new patterns or have a odd number. Let's dudes with the same pattern. It's a little thing, but it works for me. I will, however, have to do some touch-ups with the brown, because I'm being sloppy. Okay, so that was yellow on the left, so now we got yellow on the right. Sorry about the silent drive here. It's just this lo-fi is really mellowing me out. As painting generally has a therapeutic and soothing effect. And sink into the moment. Okay, let's take a bit of a break. How were we on? Okay. So yeah, I'll take just a couple minutes off to stretch my legs, and I will be right back. Backaroo. Wow, and there are still people around. Lovely. Thanks, guys. Thank you for sticking around with this very low energy stream. Right, so that was the last of the solids. And here we go with the crisscross pattern. Just place a quick line across the center to help it. Right, so how do we go about this? Bottom left, upper right. Nice. Are you baking something again? Ooh, pea soup. I actually really like pea soup. It's good eating. If I were to actually put paint on the brush, it would leave more more of an effect on the model. Indeed it does. Who would have thought? Just notice I haven't done the reds on these guys, which probably should have before starting with this, but whatever. Just keep it loose. And apparently I missed the strap on this arm. Yeah, focus for days. No biggie. fix that little oversight. While the brown can still be brought back to life. Thankfully still alive on the pallet. Boom, there we go. And they will receive another coat. Just in case, because yellow tends to not have the best coverage in the world ever. Although, compared to some other yellows, Ireland Sunset knocks it out of the park. And the gray primer, the bright light gray primer, helps as well, of course, but still it needs to be said. So this is the last guy, and we'll have yellow on bottom left, bottom, what's this in? Bottom right and upper left. And so we complete the, how would you call a triumvirate of four dudes? A tetraumvirate? Makes sense, but or quadriumvirate. Does it come from Greek or Latin? I'm gonna go with tetra. Sounds better. What would you call a triumvirate that has four pieces in it? Is it a tetraumvirate or a quadriumvirate? I think tetra is, I don't know. So 4 color patterns. This is the 4th one. Anyway, brain just flying all around, all over the place. Right. Let's give them just a second. And then go over them once again. Latin, so quadri. Gotcha. Yep. Yeah, yep. Makes sense. That's exactly what I was wondering. Thanks for that. Clarification. Alright, as expected, batteries are starting to go down a bit earlier than expected. Well, than usual. So let's quickly get this step done. And then see if I'll have a bit more juice for the ogre. And today I will be employing the absolute last resort for managing to go to sleep, which is sleeping on the couch for whatever reason. If I ever have an issue sleeping on the bed, the couch just solves all issues with that. So here's to hoping I get more than 4 hours of sleep tonight. Don't know why, I don't feel extra anxious weather hasn't been changing as abruptly, but it hasn't been my going to sleep shit hasn't been this bad in a while. Very odd. Quadrum. Oh, okay. So there's actual word for it. Lovely. Sweet. See, it is a learning channel. Though in all fairness, I never advertised it as such, so. Damn it. Okay. One day I will paint base colors without having to do touch-ups afterwards, but it will not be this day. Heterarchy being the Greek equivalent. Nice. Yeah, that sounds right. Because shit is always in threes, right? So why not have a foursome? Apparently, people have already thought of that. Back in those days. Rome apparently was a quadrumvirate for a while. Quadrum. How about that? How about that? I had never, and I never even considered that. Just bullshit that occasionally pops into the old noggin. There you go. Write it down. In case of need, most probably within the confines of a crossword puzzle, but still. Yeah, it is fun just having this facts like uh, inquiry from yourself to yourself and being like, what if that's there? And by the way, from the times where I did do crossword puzzles, there was one thing I was never able to find. And I remember the weirdness of the actual question. It was a pond in Djibouti with 4 letters. Hell of a Scrabble score. Yeah. Do all Scrabbles come with the extra point squares, or is it like an extra version? Because I know mine has them, but I'm not sure if it's common. Scrabble's fun. Haven't played in years. Oh, cool. Okay, so it's a thing. Trivia is fun, and I think it's becoming a bit of a fleeting art. Somehow. But it's still fun to dabble. Yeah, that's exactly the thing. That's why I think it's becoming more and more fleeting as an interest, like because memory is in general is becoming something that you don't need to rely on as much. And so little brain teasers like these start to fade away. Trivia crack. Haven't heard of it. Is it like a questions game? You have to dig around and stuff out. I never got into mobile games. It's not because of the games, it's I'm usually if I have the time to play, I'd rather just sit down on a PC or the TV rather to use a mobile device. Who looks up everything? If I would mention here, who looks up on the phone, it's like actually. Yeah, well, you know, there is a fine line between uh, being curious about it and just having to be the actually guy. But let's just assume that it's curiosity. And a thirst for knowledge. Oh, yeah, for sure. But there are these times, especially when you want to create a like broader picture, like put things into context when details such as exact years and dates do play a role. It isn't often, I gotta agree, but you know, knowledge is power. Hide it well. True, true. As the librarians once said in a game from long, long ago. It was the librarian, wasn't it? Was it guarded well or hide it well? I think it was guarded well. As well as there is no innocence, only degrees of guilt. Beverly Hills Cop release before or after Top Gun looking at. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's these types of the. Would you call that a study? Yeah, let's call it a study. Let's make it sound pompous. In the study or history of Beverly Hills Cop and Top Gun. Study. Hide it well. All right. See? Even more good stuff. Right, so we've gone through this. We can go over the ogre as well, because we got it on the palette. Anyway, how are we doing for time? Yeah, let's push for another half hour again. How do we want to split this up? So I can take yellow up to here. Yellow. Yeah, okay. That'll work. And then green from this side and up here. Holy shit, how the hell am I supposed to read that? Quacked Twitch Peeping TV. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. How you doing? Why'd you come up with this name? QC hacked Twitch peeing TV. There have been a few weird ones. Not sure if it's people's or bots or. Guess we'll find out. Yeah, there was one earlier which was very similar to this. I assume it might be some binary shit at work. Yeah, but following, like it's usually just messaging spam. Follows are unusual. I don't know how to treat those. If they are, of course. If you're real peeps, say hi. Who knows? Might be the music monitoring bots. No idea. Either way, we'll see. But it is weird. Oh, that's a good one. Do you want to go for it, or should I? It's basically a villain from Disciples 2, if you've ever played it. Hubert Delaney. If you are into turn-based strategy games in a fantasy setting, a very nice gothic art style. Yeah, no, did the same thing to me. Yeah. It's significantly more grindy than, let's say, a Heroes game, but it was worth it if not for just the art style. Poisoning the old sad emperor and demanding the crown. Yep, yep, yep. It's nice, indeed. I had a lot of fun with it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Third one wasn't too bad either, but in the campaign, it kind of got moot real quick. The Legion of the Damned were awesome. And they used actual, like, demon names, like, Moloch and Behemoth and all those. And Tiamat. Coincidentally, all of the Tyranid fleets. It was too slow, and at the same time, your hero became so powerful so quickly that around the third mission, you didn't even need to have an army with him. Which was sad because they actually did introduce moving across the battle map, which was otherwise. So in 1 and 2, it's static. But the biggest strength, I believe, is just the art style. The art for the game is fucking amazing. One third Russian, yeah, but 33%. Well, uh, disciples. Yep. The first one you can skip if you want to check them out. Just check out the second one, Dark Prophecy. Yeah. It can be very inspirational for miniatures painting. I just wasn't into miniatures painting back when I played the game, so but now that I think about it, the style is so unique and is something that can be translated pretty well onto miniatures. Oh, for sure, yeah. Yeah, should be. Yeah, it's hard and also it's fairly like mechanics wise it's basically identical to the second one. It's just that the graphics are a little bit stiffer. Oh, the second one I think you can run on a modern system. It's not that old. It's should be somewhere around the start of the new millennium. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's not that old. Three again. So Hubert has a bit of a stronger negative opinion. I didn't hate it. It did bring, like I said, it made it closer to Heroes 3 with the battle map becoming something that you actually can move on. Um, the graphics technically improved, but style wise, they regressed. So, yeah, I mean, mechanically a little bit better, aesthetically a little bit weaker, and story wise, that's never been particularly strong for either. So, but if you've got nothing to do, it's still fine. If you're hungry for a solid turn-based strategy, go for two. If it's too samey, try to three, and then find something else because you burn out quick on this game, on either of them. But it definitely has things that will leave a good um, something will leave a good impression on you in it, and that's almost certain. Like an impression that will stay with you, as much as I shit on it in general. Either an image or a particular battle or something, but there will be something. And Galleon's Return. Yeah, Galleon's Return is I think is an expansion to Disciples 2. Rise of the Elves. Rise of the Elves doesn't really ring a bell. So what the expansions do is they add some campaigns and another playable race. At least Galleon's Return does. Yeah, gold has everything. Right, right. I actually remember playing the demo of the game. Remember demos? Back in my day, we had demos to check out if we'd like a game or not. Derpity derp derp. But it's moody and it's pretty, so think of that what you will. Oh, really? Whoa. The game received favorable reviews according to the review aggregation website Metacritic. It was a nominee for GameSpot's annual Best Graphics Artistic on PC and Best Game No One Played on PC. Uh, honestly, I wholeheartedly agree on both nominations. Uh, exactly. So artistically, so aesthetics and style, top, and it is something that you play, you burn out on it, and it just stays. lingering in your library. Yeah, although Heroes was, I don't know, a lot more adaptable, a lot more malleable. You had a lot more options of going about the same thing, and just kind of more stuff going on. At least that's how I got. I always played Heroes more than I did Disciples. Well, you would think that, but Dark Messiah of Might and Magic is actually a first-person shooter, so it's there. Was it Dark Messiah? I'm absolutely sure there was a first-person action in the Might and Magic universe. You had the Might and Magic originals that were the RPGs. You had the Heroes of Might and Magic, which was the strategy. Dark Messiah, which was the first person. And there was a third person hack and slash, which I might be confusing with that. The or Dishonored. Yeah, I think there was a third person thing as well, but definitely running across all of the genres. Some art, yeah. Let's take a look. Yeah, you can get a feeling about the overall moodiness of the thing. I think that's from the first one, though. It's probably from one. Yeah, that's from Disciples too. This is either a Lich King or Mortis. And you see what I mean? Second game. Oh, the first one is from the second one. Especially here, you can see how why I mean that this can definitely have some creative influence, inspirational influence, and miniatures. Yeah, Dark Messiah was not great, not amazing. You can see some pretty nice color transitions and like concepts for patterns and ideas and how to make bone look interesting and all that. But I dig it. The 15-year-old edge lord in me says that's cool. Thumbs up. One of those games where you go, I'd really like to play this if it wasn't. Yeah, yeah. It's typical for the first one, but oh yeah, the paladin. That's a paladin. Solid art, just nothing really else. If you dig that style, that is, but I have a strong feeling that most of us are on the same boat regarding general art direction. more goodies. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I dig it. I actually would be inclined to replay this just to get some ideas about painting shit. Because this is a, I don't know, it just looks that it like it was made for a miniature to look like this. Of course, I may just be over romanticizing it. But that's how it feels. So there. Oh, don't worry about it, like spam away. For me, it's a lovely trip down memory lane. Don't know if the others find it interesting, but I do wholeheartedly enjoy this. Like I said, it's a game that left an impression. Not with its game part, but still. Oh yeah, yeah. And there you see how inks could help bring out the contours and the details for metallics. A simple, easy to apply idea. Yeah, the overarching stuff is good, but it's overarching a bit too far over the whole thing. Like, you do need to be at least tangentially close to the story when you play the game, and it just takes you on a wild ride. Better is end. And some of the quotes as well, yeah. Because what you do for most of the campaign is you just run around after a demon kid. Everybody wants to claim for a vessel for their deity. I think that Mortis wanted him, and Deathrism. It's been so long that memories are fleeting. Although the quotes I remember most are just the pseudo Latin nonsense that the demons spouted. Yeah, the story differs based on the campaign you play. Oh yeah. That was an elf, wasn't it? Yeah, he was the... And also, even elves are chunky in this game, as you can see. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for. And of course, The Witcher, you know. Because as far as I'm concerned, the Wild Hunt is elves, I think. Pathologic. I haven't decided on what to start next. I do have a few more levels to go through for Dead Space. Haven't really. Nothing draws me. I have a lot of ideas and a lot of things I want to get on, but nothing that's currently drawing me to it. Alright, how we doing? For a tat for the ogre. It's gonna have to be a face tat. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Something across half the face, like over the eye. Some tribal thing. Although if we were keeping the imperial vibe of overall cleanliness, I don't know how if it would fit. But tell you what, it'll always boil down to when I get to that point, would I be fed up with painting the model? And would I want to place that extra time to bring it up? But yeah, thanks for that. I will keep it in mind, and when I do the flesh, I'll look for some. Do you think about doing one on yours? Because it's, you know what? If this was for chaos, the back of his head is perfect for a chaos star or a painted player number. Yeah, that too. Yeah, nice idea there. Agreed. The color is always weird to get to achieve the color for a tattoo. I saw some tutorials a long time ago um, about putting in some of the flesh tone into black. Gangsta tears, yeah, that would work. That would work. But I'm leaning more towards a tribal thing, like something like the Mike Tyson thing, only simpler. Well, well, team doesn't have a sim. Oh, actually, it has the fleur de lis, but there is enough of that all over the place. some veins to the side and neck. Yeah, so the back of the head really would lend itself to a larger tattoo, to a larger sketch. I don't know. I will think about it again when we get to there, but that'll definitely be a topic of discussion. So thank you for throwing it out there. Yep, yep, yep. Alright, guys, I think I am spent for now. Sorry again, just really friggin' tired. Put an airbender arrow. Sure, why not? So, any ideas on people to invade? Let's see what we get on my list of dudes and dudettes doing stuff. I have Casual Painter, I have LV, Freaka Friggy, Great Paladin Arts, Monkeys with Fire, B-Tardy Arts, doing sculptures, Electroceive, Just Dices, Anne Marie, Malka Minis, and Brush for Hire. How do you feel about any of them? And of course, if you follow someone who is currently on, we can go check them out as well. Thank you all. Thank you, Saima, for being around and for chatting, for hanging out. It's always very much appreciated. Thank you, Naki. Thank you to all. I do genuinely appreciate the time I spend with all of you. It's fun, and it does bring a smile. So, okay, where do we go? Let's check out Electroceive. I think fewer people have been over at her channel, so let's do that. Let's see if I can get the raid command right this time. Awesome. Alright, everybody. Once again, a quick thank you for being around, for joining me, chatting, lurking, and hanging out. Keep doing what you love and loving what you do. I have been Badger Cordio, signing out. Bye bye, guys, and see you next time.